Hey guys, how's it going? I wanted to do a live stream, but I still got to get it figured out. I've never done one before, so I was trying to play around with it, but we'll just go ahead and look at Bitcoin. It's been pretty boring lately, but we can take a look at it and some other coins. This is what I'm kind of looking for and what I really want to see. And what we did see was here on April 30th up until May 8th, we had this uh, bearish divergence that took place, and I think that played a role in this massive dump. And it looks like we're possibly making a bearish continuation pattern, maybe a bear flag. But the more this just goes sideways, the less likely that might be. What I'd really like to see coming from the 4-hour is I'd like to see it. I can see here on the MACD we've started to move into positive momentum. It started to turn green, but I could see some bullish divergence take place. I'm going to draw it out here and show you what I want to see really happen. So down here is our next support level. We have some support around 8,200. Let me stop this real quick. On the weekly, if we go to the weekly, there's a little bit of support, I believe, at 8,200. Where's it at? Yeah, somewhere right around here. There's a little bit of support, but the main one is going to be down here at 7,800. It could get hung up here at 8,200 a little bit, but I think the main one's going to be down at 7,800. But what I would really like to see, and I would go big in, because there's just, there's nothing on the 4-hour or the hourly really right now. There's no edge. I don't see anything to indicate any kind of trade. Sure, you can do some scalping on the 5 and 15 minute time frames or the 1 minute or whatever, but I don't do a lot of that. So that's why you haven't really seen me post anything, because there's going to be days, and it's been a few days where there's just nothing going on. There's just no edge. But what I would really like to see is price to come down here to about 7,800, right? MACD to do something like this. And let's make this a little bit better looking. And we end up with some bullish divergence here on the 4-hour. I would like to see that, with price making a lower low, MACD making a higher low. And if it showed up on the RSI as well, that would be great. But I would love to see price take a dump down to 7,800. Move the MACD into negative momentum, but make a higher low than the previous one we made here from this big dump, creating bullish divergence, and then I would feel like there was an edge, and a possible trade setup there. But currently there's nothing. I mean, I just don't see anything. That's why I've only been doing some scalping on the lower time frames, and what I'm doing there is pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Right now I've just been kind of looking at the 5, 15, and 30 minute time frames. On these time frames I don't look for divergence. Divergence doesn't matter on these time frames. I only look on the 1-hour and the 4-hour for divergence. But on these lower time frames you can scalp off stochastic reversals and coupled with these EMA lines. So you can see how the 99 was the support here, the 99 was resistance here, the 99 and 55 were resistance here, and we're kind of running into them again with this little 15 minute trend line that I have drawn that I don't know, and it's breaking up right now. Let's look. So right now the 5 minutes overbought, 15 minutes climbing, 30 minutes went up, the 1-hours went up, but the 4-hours starting to turn down. So we really could, if I'm going to do this, if I'm going to do a trade here, what I want to see happen is I would like to see it come up just a little bit more, maybe up somewhere around here, come back down, retest this trend line right here, and I'll trade this if it does it. If it comes up, Stochastic still up. When it comes down, retests it. When that retests, send the stochastic down here so basically like to reset it almost. Then and use this trend line as support before continuing higher. That could be another scalp right there. Same with the 15-minute. It comes up a little bit higher. Maybe this one starts to reverse back down before it gets all the way up like it did here. Retest this trend line before continuing higher, because we could very well see 91.50 again. But I really would like to see it dump down to 7,800 and create that divergence. But just the example is we break up, so we're starting to get resisted from it now. What would the 30-minute look like? 30 minutes still has room to climb. The 1 hour, so I mean it looks like it could be a possible little trade setup here that we could do. If it breaks through here, comes down and retests, reset this stochastic down here at the bottom. That would be cool. I would jump into that. So that's really all there is on Bitcoin. I was just trading, here on the 15-minute, we've seen some bounces off to the 99. I did a little trade, I forget where it was. I was trading it off this 99, I think. Yeah, got in a little late. And I had a take profit up here and a stop loss down here, but it went, if we look at the 5-minute, this is what it did. I bought in somewhere around here when it was down here at the bottom, and it started to go up, but price really didn't. It moved up here, so it started, the stochastic moved up, but it didn't get really much higher than that, and I wanted it to go higher, and then came back up again basically to the same area, and wasn't going to get to my take profit because I had it up here around 88.60, 88.70, and it would have hit my stop loss. So I'm actually watching this right now because I want to see if it does what I want it to do. So we can already see this starting to flatten out. I want to see it come up, keep the stochastic up, come back down, retest it, sending the stochastic down before jumping into it. So Bitcoin, let's look at OGN. We're kind of like in this range right here that we've started to come out of. Bet you the 4 hour. Yeah, the 4 hour showing it breaking out of this little bitty range here. Actually, I probably need to move the top of the range up here, so we're right at the top of it actually. And this has just been a long little downtrend. Let's see what this looks like. This is kind of real time. I'm kind of just looking at these right now, guys. So we're starting to break that little trend line there. We do have some support right down here where we're at, from over here, so we are holding the support. I expect it to move higher from here, especially if we break this little 4 hour trend line, unless Bitcoin takes it down. But if it drops, man, I don't know. See, I want to see Bitcoin go down here to 7,800 to get into that, but that's going to bring everything else down. Maybe Bitcoin goes sideways for a little while and allows some of these altcoins to rally up before it wants it to go down to 7,800. That would be kind of cool. WRX. Had some bullish divergence here on the 4 hour, which created this. I missed that. Haven't even looked at this one yet. And yeah, remember the divergence thing. So price made a lower low, oscillator made a higher low. What do I have? I don't have this drawn. Do I have this drawn? So price making a lower high, oscillator making a higher high. Hidden bullet or hidden bearish. So it's showing some hidden bearish divergence here on the MACD. Kind of cruising along these EMA lines. See this 55 being support. The 222 382 with some support here. See, especially on these alts, I do not look at these low time frames like that at all. I don't even get down there. Bitcoin I kind of do when I'm bored and I want to scalp. But these alts, man, they can be so volatile that these low time frames. So I see 4 hour running into some resistance here, and then we're going to hit some here at this trend line as well. And if that was all the bullish divergence gave us, was this high, then we might be headed down even lower, because this high. Now if this divergence would have sent us up and made a new local high, then it may have continued higher, breaking the previous one, but that would have made even stronger hidden bearish divergence. This thing's going to go down even more, I bet. That's what I'm feeling. What am I in right now? ONT. Still hovering along the bottom of this channel, I see. We had from the high to the low, almost a 618 retrace. We got up there, made a double top here on the 4 hour, came back down to the 382 fib. 4 hour did not close behind, so this channel is still valid. We're still inside of it, and that's why, you know, I kind of jumped in, because we're hovering along the bottom of it. Less Bitcoin takes a dump. But you know, Bitcoin could take a flash dump and just be, you know, so fast and rally back quickly that it could create, the alts could dump too, but just be a long wick, you know, not something that actually breaks a channel. It could just be like, you know, kind of like this one. You know, we had a long wick down, but it came back up and got inside the channel. That wasn't because WRX was respecting technical analysis. That's just because Bitcoin, the way Bitcoin acted, allowed it to, you know, kind of respect it. So yeah, it looks like, I think when I got in, yeah, I got in at the green line, so we were above this resistance that I mean, it was support at that time. So, you know, we have support here, here, here. I got into it a little, so I got into it up here above that support. Well, it fell back below it. Now it's resistance. So we're kind of, if you look on the 4 hour, we are making this little, I'm going to go ahead and draw this. Yeah, let's turn this off. Kind of making this little ascending triangle here on the 4 hour. I like that. But it's so dependent upon Bitcoin, man. If Bitcoin takes a dump, everything's going to. So, yeah, Bitcoin goes sideways, ONT should see a pump. What else am I in? I think I'm in Atom too, is what I said. And here there's just, yeah, I got in right above the support line. Support, support, support. Was even support on this long wick that ended up, broke down, came up. It didn't really react to it as resistance, but we're right underneath it again. But these, I like these long 4 hour wicks all over the place. I mean, a long wick, there's a long one here, here. These ones are kind of long. So, could be starting another little ascending triangle on the 1 hour. We drew it. Like this, kinda. See how that plays out. Let's change that so it's only on the 1 hour. Lower time frames. Yeah, it's just been going sideways. Respecting the 55 for a little while. What is this? The 15. When you get on these 50, I mean, some of these, they create like big gaps and stuff on these lower time frames. That's why I don't even like, look at this 5 minute. Look at all the gaps. All these big gaps and stuff. It's weird. So that's why I usually look at them on the higher time frames. What else? What does Ethereum look like? Ethereum, this is pretty cool though. Ethereum broke out of this channel, regarded it as support, broke back down inside of it, then it was resistance, then Bitcoin took a dump, and now we're at the bottom of it. So Yeah, it's so dependent upon Bitcoin though. That's why, with me thinking that Bitcoin, wanting to actually see Bitcoin to come down to 7,800, it's really hard to jump into anything else. But, it very well could flash up to uh, one of these local highs right somewhere around in here. Could pump up to here real quick before going down to 7,800. We could see it do this and then down to 7,800. That would definitely create bullish divergence on the 4 hour, because that would send the MACD up a little bit higher. It would create it like that, and that would be a good trade setup. So if we see like a little flash pump here, sending these alts up a little bit, that would be great before coming down to 7,800. Let's go back down to a lower time frame and see what it's doing to that trend line. And that's something you can do. You can see that white trend line. I don't have one here now, but if I go down here to the 15 minute, there it is. What you do is you go to click on it, go to the settings, and go to visibility, and you can say what time frames you want it to be on. So I don't want like 15 minute, 5 minute trend lines to show up on my 4 hour chart, because they're not even going to look like anything. So look, it's kind of doing it right now. It didn't really send that. It came down, it kind of broke, came down, tested it, moving higher, but it didn't send that stochastic down very much. I don't want to get into this right now. 5 minutes overbought, 15 minutes overbought. I just don't see an edge. I don't feel comfortable getting into it, and I don't feel comfortable making a video of me getting into a trade and everybody doing it either. There's just too much. We're right at a resistance, a low, kind of a lower time frame resistance. Well, let's look left. That's the big thing. Look left. Where are we at? 8,800. You know what? Let's go to a different chart. Let's look at 8,800. So I know I have some support resistance there. 4 hour. Yeah, there's lots. We have this peak. Let's look at the daily. Right here, this peak. $91.50 is that big one though. Right there. That's a little high. Because we got it here, 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 here. It's a strong one. So when we broke above it, I was like, yes, but that bearish divergence, plus, coupled with, I don't know what else was going on, that big dump, but that bearish divergence that I was saying, I was telling you guys, that's why I didn't want to get into a, and I freaking went against what I wanted to do. I ended up getting into a long, but that 4 hour bearish divergence that I was talking about, that was on the MACD and it was on the RSI, and I'm like, dude, this is on a significant time frame, and price went from what, 9,800 down, it went all the way down to like 8,100. Price scared a lot of people off. So right now, see, look at what I did. I can probably adjust this line just a little bit, because obviously that was not a break. That was bouncing off of it. So we got our 5 minute coming back down. We're kind of squeezing in here, this trend line and this trend line, so it's going to break. I really want it to pump up 91.50 and then dump to 7,800, creating the 4 hour bearish bullish divergence, and then I'm going to go in heavy. So that's what I'm looking at, guys. These other alts, like I said, go to lower time frames, look at the stochastic, look for your EMA support and resistance, and that's how I really scalp. That's about it. I don't do it on the alts as much. I'll do it on Bitcoin, and then when I feel like Bitcoin's not going to make a major move yet, then I'll look for support and resistance on alts and jump into those. What's going on with Cody? I think somebody's in Cody. Somebody said they were. Let's see what's going on. So we have some support here. This line that I have drawn, that it held on. I just kind of make it more dim. Some support there. Everything's been kind of moving sideways on these higher time frames. What do we have? We had some kind of had some bullish divergence here on the MACD from here to here. Let's change that to just the 4 hour. And it could turn into, double or triple. If it comes back down, it makes a lower low on price, but it only makes a higher low on the MACD. We could have double bullish divergence, but you can see price made a lower low. The MACD made a higher low. I don't think that was the 4 hour divergence play out, because as you can tell from what Bitcoin did, it plays out a lot. 4 hour divergence does a lot more. There's a larger reaction to it than that. I mean, that's nothing. What is that? Well, that's 15%. I don't think that was it though. What do we got going on? There ain't really much going on over here either. What else is there? I want to look back at Bitcoin again. Go to these lower time frames when there's nothing going on, because I get bored. Then I screw myself by jumping something that I shouldn't do because I get bored. I was kind of scalp. I did a couple little scalps off these bounces. So something should happen here soon with this wedging in here. But see, we're wedging in on a 5-minute time frame. I mean, the reaction could be what? Move up to 8,900. Whoop-de-doo. That ain't a pump. $100 is not a pump. So that's about it, guys. What I'm waiting for. Any big move that I make. Anytime I say I'm scalping, I'm doing seriously 5% of my account, 10% of my account. I'm waiting, but if I see this bullish divergence play out on the MACD on the 4 hour, I'm going to jump in with 30 or 40%. And then I'll save the other just in case it dips a little bit farther. But 7,800 is going to be our strong support. And then our major resistance is going to be 9,150. 91. Our first one. It's going to be 9,150 and 7,800. So we're really playing around. Where do I want to draw it? Where's it at? What the hell? Price range. Here we go. We could move around right here for quite a while. And that's pretty large, 7,800 to 9,150. So that's what I'm looking at, guys. And I'll talk to you later.